Hello and welcome back to Simon Outdoors Bow Saw Part 3. Now you can see I've moved on from the last video. I cut all my timbers to length. I did my mortise and tenon. I've actually put a haunch on these, which is the notch in, so that when this fits into this piece, I've just glued that knot back into place and it slots into there. You don't see the edge of the hole just here. It's covered by this shoulder here. Now what I'm doing is I've just hacksawed that piece and I'm just hacksawing here where the actual bow saw blade is going to slot in. Now I only want a narrow slot because, I'll explain this, I haven't made a bow saw before, but I have been a joiner, a qualified joiner now for 16 years, and I've done joinery for probably 6 years before that, so I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I've cut it with a bow saw because once you've, let's grab this, slot your bow saw blade in, which is near enough the same thickness. This is the first time I'm trying it on camera. If I can do it while holding, there we are, look. Lovely snug fit. That one's not been cut full deep enough yet, that's why it won't go down. Okay. The reason why you only want a narrow fit is if you cut a wide slot and then you put a bolt through it to squeeze it up, you're pulling it in too far before it touches the blade. You're putting force on the timber like that, which will actually, or could possibly, break here and here. If you've got a nice tight fit here against the blade, then the pressures are equal here and here. That's why you don't want a big slot here. You only want a narrow slot so it just nicely fits in, like this will look, see? When I've cut it deeper. It looks like it's deeper, but I've actually cut it on an angle. So that's where I've got to at the minute. Get my finger out of the way of the camera. So when that glue's dry, what I'll be doing next is I'll be getting the router out and I'll be putting the chamfer on to make it look nice. Then when that bit of glue's dry, I'll sand it all up so all the pencil marks will be gone. Then what will be left to do is to drill out for the bolts that's going to hold the bow saw blade into place. I'm going to use, I think, about M6 bolts, I think, for that size hole. I haven't checked, but I'm going to use wing nuts as well, so it's easy to take the blade off, like on the end of my hacksaw here. Look, that's a wing nut, so you don't need a spanner, finger and thumb, twist it up. I haven't thought much about storing the blade yet. As you can see, the middle rail is just about the same length, so if I wanted to, I mean, I've put the saw away now, I could put a slot all the way down in the middle length, in the middle part of the bow saw. Only problem with that is the saw blade would run straight into where my tenons are and weaken them. So what I might just do is, when I pack the blade, what you don't want to do is squash it, because a blade has something called a set teeth. So all the teeth aren't in a line like that, they're staggered like that. So when they go through the wood, they cut in face of the saw, which is this part is wider than this part. So when it's stepped like that and cuts through, showing you with my fingers because it's more obvious than the saw, it's got a bigger gap, so the back of the saw blade doesn't get trapped, it can follow through. So to pack the saw blade, I haven't thought about how I'm going to do that yet, because I've made a bigger saw frame that doesn't fold in on itself and hide the blade. Because if I get my side now and slap it on there and tie it up, I'm going to ruin the set on those teeth. They won't be crossed like that anymore. And what happens is, if they lose their set and go straight, yes, it will cut, but it will trap, and it will trap a lot, that blade will. So you're better off trying to protect that set of the teeth like that, so it clears everything. So I'll have a think on that, what I'm going to do. Maybe like when I tape it together, I tape that loose on the back, and maybe make a leather pouch for it all to go in, or a cloth pouch. Probably leather would be better. And then when I strap these bits of wood on, I strap them onto here, so the blade's left on the back with, you know, nothing pushing on against it really. It'll all go into a pouch. So that's what I've got to at the minute. But I'll do number 4. Part number 4 will probably be just when I've got it chamfered and well, finished really. I'm debating on staining it. I might use teak. I've got some teak stain, and then varnish it. I probably will as well. So it won't be fully finished today because I want to buy some paracord. I wish I'd have bought some at the Bushcraft show, and I need to get the bolts. So I've got some nice new bolts for it. Alright, well my battery is just running out, so I better get off before it cuts me off. You all take care, and thank you very much for joining me, Simon Outdoors, and get out there, get making your own bow saw. I'll see you later. Bye.